Firstly, thanks for the opportunity to be here. It's an absolute honour. I'm Professor of Aquaculture at James Cook University, but I've had an interesting journey. So I'm a natural products chemist by training. I spent a bit of time in marine ecology. I then spent a fair bit of time looking at microbiology, and now I grow seaweed. So all of that has somehow coalesced into a journey around aquaculture, and that's where I've been working for the last 20 years. Aquaculture is not an industry you hear a lot about often, but globally it's very important. So in 2011, the world consumed for the first time more farmed fish than beef. So internationally, it's a very different industry than we perceive here. And in 2014, for the first time, globally, we consumed more farmed fish than fish from capture fisheries. So aquaculture plays a really key role in food security internationally, and it plays a key role in a developing export industry in Australia that targets luxury markets. So we have a unique opportunity in Australia because we're technologically advanced in terms of aquaculture in a global context to contribute at a technology level but also a production level. And that's reflected here in the target for the National Aquaculture Strategy, which was released last year, to try and double production of aquaculture from Australia by 2027. And it's interesting because from an ATSI perspective and a perspective that we all commonly think about, this will raise a number of challenges. So these challenges are captured very clearly in ATSI's topic fora already. So aquaculture faces the same issues that agriculture and water resources and natural resources and primary production industries globally face. And that's increased productivity, but competing demands from limited resources. And it's interesting, if I was to identify the most limiting resource for the development of aquaculture in Australia, it would be social licence, because it's about competition. So as technologists, we need to contribute to that discussion around social licence, because quite often the technology can improve the public's perception and understanding and improve productivity at the same time. And I'd like that to be my contribution. That's really where I've contributed in the past. My role focuses on ecologically responsible intensification, and this is my office. Literally and figuratively, to be honest. This is the farm where we do all of our work. It's a large prawn farm in Northern Australia. It produces 1,000 tonnes of prawns per year. And by integrating the production of seaweed, which seems rather simple, but perhaps is not as simple as one might perceive, we've been able to increase the productivity from that farm and allow new farms to expand from that farm, because by growing those crops together, we can capture nutrients from one resource into another resource and recycle that, thereby meeting compliance. This farm now has net zero discharge to the receiving waters of the Great Barrier Reef, based on some very simple but useful technologies that we've contributed through our industry-focused research plan. And we're seeing new growth in the industry that we didn't see before because we meet social licence. My other contribution is more personal. I'm involved in innovative agribusiness around aquaculture, and this is a company called Mainstream. It provides 1 in 3 farmed barramundi in the world in terms of fingerling stock or improved feed stock. That comes out of a warehouse in Werribee. So it's an intensive production system based on a geothermal aquifer that's biosecure from the natural production area for barramundi, and delivers those fish into 21 countries and 5 continents, has the world's most advanced selective breeding program, and has now developed intensive recirculation production to minimise water use in the grow out of those fish. I'd like my contributions to continue again in the terms of ATSI around delivering and progressing innovation in the industry that I'm passionate about, which is aquaculture. But that's a little bit narrow. I think there are more opportunities here to move across and between industries. We can promote technology and engineering from an industry like this, which is an aquaculture production system, into municipal wastewater, into agriculture, into intensive feedlots, and so cross some boundaries between disciplines and start to work to bring some new technologies around water resources that will improve everybody's fortune, both environmentally and economically. Finally, I'd like to be able to contribute a little bit more broadly to the agenda around Northern Australia. Northern Australia has 40% of Australia's land mass and 60% of Australia's water resource. It has 5% of Australia's population. It's predicted to deliver 42% of Australia's economic output by 2040. And there are a lot of tensions that need to be resolved in that space. Living and working in that environment is very different. I lived in Sydney for a very long time, and I've lived in North Queensland for 15 years. And I think understanding and living in that space gives me the opportunity to provide a broader perspective on what Northern Australia can deliver while maintaining the really precious environment that it holds. Thank you.